Right now, a civil servant does not contribute. They pay national insurance, right? And I'm just trying to walk through how the pension is calculated and who finances it. You pay national insurance, and then government pays you. Because I know most civil servants, you will hear them say, I'm going to take a gratuity and a smaller pension. The gratuity is not paid by national insurance, is it? How does it work? Explain that.
The gratuity is actually what happens. They calculate what your pension would be. When they work that out, they take 1/4 of that amount, what your annual pension would be, and multiply it by 12.5. The reason for that, we're back in 1947 when this thing was started, that people used to live 12 and a half years after retirement. 55 used to be the retirement age. So by 67, you'd have gone.
I would lost, I would be dead.
So what they did, they take out 1/4 of your pension, and they multiply by 12.5, and they give you that as your gratuity.
Okay.
That will help fix the house, change the roof and stuff, so they will live in comfort until you're dying there. The remaining 3/4, they divide that in 12 and give you that monthly.
Right.
However, if you come into the service after the 1st of September 1975, when the national insurance kicks in, that pension now will cease, and you will only get for national insurance if you are one of the people who work right now. The current number is 5,000. If you work for less than $5,120 a month, that's almost everyone in public service. So the vast majority of the public servants will not get a pension from the Treasury, even though when you pay for it. You see, and the thing is, what people didn't understand, that your salary in the public service was always supposed less than what you should have gotten for your qualifications and stuff, and that amount was supposed to be saved for you as a deferred earnings pension. So when people say that the civil servant didn't contribute to their pension, they didn't contribute because they were being paid less than they should have been paid.
Okay, gotcha. And
now they're saying, oh, you don't pay. So that's, as a matter of fact, to show you what I mean, if you are a public officer and somebody wants to stick on you to their business, that person has to pay the Treasury 25% of your salary to maintain your pension. Right? So they got to pay 25%. So that 25% should have been put down there for you all along. It was never put down for you because government, don't always have the money.
Cash flow, yeah.
So they so rather than put it down, they just went ahead and just left it and paid from current revenue. So to say that civil servants didn't contribute to their pension, they contributed because they were paid less.
I see.
You see, they were paid less, and then that money was supposed to be saved for them. And government honored it until these people come around the place now and say, well, look, we're going to treat people. But anyhow, they cared.
But you know what, this just what I mean. I'm watching the chat, and this, as someone is saying, this has to be done again because people are just like myself. I have to be honest, it's not a topic that I know very much about, and I'm learning so much tonight, and I'm saying this is why we needed to have that public discussion and understanding. People understand what this is all about, because it affects us all. Everybody, it affects us all. Let me just bring Mr. Clark in because we're going to get into having people to come on and to share their views and to ask questions, etc. Before I open the floor to you guys again, you are the professionals here. You are two senators, and we'll be able to give us some, clear understanding of this issue. But Mr. Clark, he's a paralegal and also represents the people, and I know he has something that he wants to say on that. Welcome, Winston. Good to have you.
Good night.
Yes.
Good night. Thank you for
Hi.
having me. Hi, good night. All right. I will not even try to reiterate what Mr. Franklyn and Ms. Queen spoke about. What I will speak about, though, is the surreptitious way the government went about implementing this bill. All right, and they spoke about consultation, but whom did they consult with? They continue to speak about transparency. Where was the transparency? Because I never heard about any consultation. All right, and then before I am always online with the Gazette. As a matter of fact, you and I spoke about this earlier this evening, and I went online, and there is nothing about that bill in the Gazette relative to the pensions, etc. No, to just have the sitting on Friday, which is not the norm, because they usually sit on Tuesday, and I believe Caswell said this, and Senate is usually on Wednesday. Then to have this crop over festivities, and then the Senate sit on Wednesday, to obviously, and as Ms. McLean said, have a tepid debate, because we know it's already a foregone conclusion. They're going to pass it. There's no opposition, so to speak. You understand? But the thing about it is, I am so upset about it, because a lot of people are not going to live to see a pension. I'm going to be realistic. They are not going to live to ever receive a pension. So all those years will go for naught. And it is time that Barbadians, and I know I've been getting this consistently on my chats, it is time that Barbadians stand up. France stood up when Macron did this, and everything stood to stand still. It's time that Barbadians come out, even if they do not, they say, well, listen, let's, for one day, and show this government that we have a say, and that they work for us, and it's not the other way around. All right, because nobody, 68 years. As far as the NIS scheme, etc., I leave that in the hands of Caswell and Ms. McLean, right? Because I'm aware that there wasn't much change, so to speak. All right, I haven't had a chance to completely read the bill, but I've just seen a skim of it. Okay, but as far as the pension is what we are really worried about. If you look at the comments and you listen to the people, and you listen to the chats,
Yes.
you will see that people are
that's
worried.
That's where they're mostly concerned about that, and you know, it's you know, it's very, very, it's to me, it is, I just can't even find the word to say that you want to be transparent and talking about you want to make sure that you have, you know, people having a say, etc. And you're going to come read a bill on Friday, and then you're going to take it to the Senate to debate on Wednesday. It's not in the public sphere for people to look at it. We have a holiday. We can't discuss it on brass tacks. We can't do anything because you gave us a holiday. You plan out this whole thing. It seems like it appears as though this is planned out. We must wind up and we must walk up and we must drink and we get up Wednesday and we don't even realize what happened. You know, this is what it's coming over to me. But thank you so much for your comments, Winston. Just hang on there in the green room. Let me see, Mr. Jamal Forsyth is coming in because this is the point where we're asking people to come in and have your say. Come in and have a say. Okay, we can't keep you for too long. Okay, we're not going to keep you for too long, but you're going to come in and have your say, go right out so somebody else can come in. Okay?
1 second, Dominic. I think
so
now someone asked me.
Mr. Forsyth.
Yes, ma'am. Someone asked me what would be the rude awakening. The rude awakening would be for the Barbadian public to stand up to these charlatans, because this is blatant madness. Now, what Mr. Franklyn was saying earlier is quite true, because when you qualify for the pension age, apparently it disappears. Because my father had worked in the Bridgestone port, and upon retirement, he took a very long time to even receive or even hear anything about pension or anything like that. So what he's saying is quite true. It is not lies. People need to stand up to this madness and stop this foolishness. It is they are living under pretense, and it's a false hope, saying, oh, this person is auntie and uncle. No. How is it legal for someone to tell you, or government therefore then, to tell you that it is illegal not to pay NIS, but at the same said time, it is legal for them to take the money from you? That's not that is lunacy. That is lunacy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and no one is standing up to this madness. No one is any monsters. I'm not saying that you should run board the government and burn it down. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if the people stand up to these to the leaders and tell them, listen, we've had enough. We are the ones that put you here. You understand? These things will come to a cease. It will bring cessation. It will have to cease. Because there is no way that these things can continuously go on for years and years. And look at the time that they did it. The last time they brought in legislation, they brought it and it's not in. And now they're sneaking a new legislation in right at the time of crop over. When people are dancing and wearing costumes.
They were debating two important bills all in one, and then days later, now they want to pass it in the Senate, and those are the things that I believe that we need to. I agree with you. We have got to let them know we're not accepting it.
And it has not been made public notice. It is not in the National Gazette. It is not there for the white public to see. Why is it being hidden?
Why is it being hidden? That is the thing.
Why is it being hidden? The people are not wondering what are the implications for the future. They are not securing the future for the younger generation. It is madness.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Forsyth. Lots of foresight.
No problem.
Thank you so much. And the link is there. I'm going to put the link in again.
Okay.
Thank you, Jamal. I'm going to put the link in and ask you guys to come in. Let your voice be heard. You don't even have to put on your camera. Okay? The link is going to say StreamYard. Go ahead, Mr. Franklyn. And there's a question Cheryl Blackman has there. Go ahead, Mr. Franklyn.
Benson spoke about consultation. That is not consultations. I can confess that they invited me. Well, I don't know if you call it invitation. I got a letter from the Permanent Secretary Ministry of Labor saying, thanks for agreeing to serve on this committee. You know, but that was the first time I knew that I agreed. You know, when I saw that letter, I realized, hell, Caswell, you agreed to something. I was probably sleepwalking. So I took offense to it. So, of course, when they invited me to meet, I didn't turn up because you just can't assume that you're going to thank me for, and I'm going to just rush in there. But then the director of National Insurance called me and said, I missed 2 meetings. And I said, well, okay, can you give me the documents? I will still come, but give me the documents so that I can review them before I can. No, they can't give me the documents. I will get them when I get there. So you are going to ask me to come to a meeting to consult about something and don't let me know what it is? That's what the consultation, so the other trade union leaders rushing and when they do that. I have more respect for myself than that. I didn't go because you refused to give me any documentation till I get there when everybody had them already. Rawdon had them, everybody had them, but not me.
Mm-hmm. And as Ms. McLean said, you might have consulted, you met before because on their website they said they spoke with different types of people in society, etc. The point is when you have the draft bill, that draft bill now you need to take it back to those people and to and it needs you need to follow procedure. Be conscious of the fact that there's no opposition in this country and make sure that the public has some kind of say in what happens. I think that is important. But there's a question here. I'm going to be 67 next year.
Cheryl will get her pension.
Cheryl is going to have a pension.
She will get her pension. Sorry, go ahead, Caswell.
She will get her pension if she qualifies. That means that if she has been in public service for 10 years or more, temporary or appointed, doesn't really matter right now. And she's reached 67, she will get her pension. If she's talking about the national insurance thing, if she has the 500 contributions, yes, she will get her pension. The problem there with this thing is that the new people now we're going to have 750 contributions. 14.4 years. They call it 50. It's 14.4 years. So you're not qualifying. You're not asking these people to qualify in 14 years. When the same MPs are qualifying in 8, they can't sit down and do that and hold a straight face. No, they're saying we're in this together. That may not be nobody here.
Marcia, could I, so that other people understand, I went to the minister's speech, and I think I will share this so that people, based on what on the 5th page of the speech, he said, the pensionable age is now 67, making the current difference between average years lived and retirement age 11 years. The measure therefore recommended here is a 1-year rise of the pensionable age in 2 steps. In 2028, the pensionable age will become 67.5 years. In 2034, the pensionable age becomes 68 years. But I heard him, the question was posed, and I would say it would only be fair that if we adjust this, that they relook the pensions going forward for MPs as well. I mean, if adjustments are made. If when there increases the pension or whatever that is the case, and they get it, then you need to look and see how this, you have to adjust it, taking everybody into consideration. That's my position on that.
Mm-hmm. So, is it that they're planning to do that, Mr. Franklyn? Are they planning to adjust it for the MPs, and it's not yet ready?
I heard Minister Colin Jordan today on Brass Talk saying, that the Prime Minister said something to that effect. They're not planning anything yet. They were thinking about it.
So hold a minute. So they didn't so in this bill that they're putting, there's nothing in there for the parliamentarians. That's the MPs.
Parliamentarians have a different piece of legislation. Return along this legislative service act.
I see. So they're thinking about it. So this is where Bajans come in. Bajans, you need to let it be more than they're thinking about it. That this is something that they have to do. This is where Barbadians have to rise up and say, listen, you're not just going to think about it. Okay, this is something that has to happen. I agree with Ms. McLean and it's right here what you were saying right there on the screen, that they would need to look at that as well. Guys, can you see if you see the link there, those that are watching, thank you for everybody who's watching. We have almost 500 persons on tonight watching. I'm going to ask you, come guys, you don't have to show your face. All right, you don't have to put on your camera, but this is an opportunity. Let your voice be heard. I don't believe that Bajans are passive. I refuse to believe that. You're a people of action, and something you got to do something. Let's talk about it. You have a question to ask the question. Make sure you understand it, so that when you're ready to take your actions, you know what you're doing. In the meantime, go ahead, Mr. Franklyn. It seems like you want to say something.
Yes, it is not on the pensions or the national insurance. But I want to show you how the government is behaving. You realize the airport, they have this PPP thing going on, right? And they're saying, that they're now discussing this PPP, to have this PPP. They signed it recently, and they will work out the details of a contract. I do not believe that for a minute. I can tell you why. The Arabs already have their man working in Barbados at the airport. He's Patrick Voyer, the operations, the director of operations. They brought him in and stuck him in the Vega post at the airport. No advertising, no nothing. He was working, if you look at the website, he was in Abu Dhabi and wherever else working. They brought him here to oversee the transition. I know the government is working backwards to put contracts and things in place. They already got their man employed. They already got their man working here already. And
you like to give me jokes, man. You're giving me pure jokes.
I just is PIETRICK Patrick Voyer. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, but he is now the number 2 man in the hierarchy at the airport. He's the man that will take over when they get rid of Had the Born when he's no longer useful. He's the CEO. But that is what these people are doing. They're doing things behind the scenes, coming up with all this, and then presenting it to you. And now with this thing, if my members at the airport didn't decide that they were going to take industrial action, we would not have found out. But this PPP signing up, and this PPP was an afterthought. It was already consummated. And why would you have your man working here and you ain't got no contract yet?
Mm-hmm.
I think though, Marcia,
So when you can start trusting these government, keep on trusting them.
No, I think this whole discussion and I mean what Caswell just introduced also speaks to employee rights, benefits, and all of these things as well, because at the end of the day, his union members will need to know what is their situation. But it bothers me that there's so much that is happening that the public is sitting and looking on and watching and trying to figure out exactly what is going on. I mean, and you know, we talk about transparency and good governance. We hear it all the time. But at the end of the day, so many decisions are taking place. I mean, I if I go back to this, and I need to reiterate it, that if we didn't have this discussion today, if we, you know, didn't talk about this, I would not even have realized from listening to the debate in the parliament and the extracts carried in the news, the discussion on brass tacks today, that the bulk of the national insurance bill has to do with the reorganizing, with management issues, about the legal structure of the organization and all of these things. As I said, I mean, I went back because when I downloaded the ministerial statement, to make sure that I had to go back and check to make sure that I had all the pages. It's a 9-page document. And there is nothing of substance in there talking about that. And what are the implications for, for the workers? Because in this as well, in the legislation, there's reference to the setting up of a private pension for employees in national insurance. I don't know if you spotted that, Caswell, in the
yes, within 2 years of
reorganizing or whatever,
they will have to set up their own pension scheme. The people who go over from the public service will remain under Cap 25, which is the public pension for public servants. Unfortunately, I don't trust this government enough. I don't trust them as far as I control the Prime Minister. And what they have done every time is to put that clause in there, but don't obey it. Don't follow it. Bruh, just only recently, after how many years, have to pay these people the pension on the salary that they were making when they retired from BRA, and not the salary they were paid the public service all those years ago. You know, they trick people. You know, I don't understand why they would do it. You know, this is a country that they run. This is not their place. They're doing it on our behalf. Because they're doing it on our behalf, do it well and treat us well. No, they always feel that they have to deceive us. So I don't trust them when they put those few clauses in there, because at the airport when they had the transition, they said nothing will change to the staff. It changed. Something as simple as the sick leave. You were getting 14 days sick leave if you were temporary, or 21 if you're permanent. They bring all down to 6. And they said, though, the terms and conditions will remain the same. But when the actual transition happened and people went over, you got 6 days, though. And when you missed 3 days, they're right here telling about your son went up your 6 days and all kind of madness. So I don't trust them. What should happen? And I told the minister this today on brass tacks. The problem is that the government is going about fixing things that they don't understand. Like, for instance, I told him there's an American saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The national insurance legislation was not broke, according to the Americans, but they're trying to fix it. And they don't understand what they're doing, because everything that they have put in place is already in place.
Yeah.
Except hiring staff. The board cannot hire staff. Everything else the board can do. Right now, today, the board can do everything that you see in the new legislation. So there was no need for it.
Wow. Folks, this is very, very, very a very important time. I want to believe this is a turning point. I'm gonna be very, very honest, and my husband can tell you that it is so. Whenever this whole weekend we're talking about it, and I said, Dave, I'm not going to get involved. I'm not getting involved. I wasn't born here. Mr. McLean, I'm being honest. I said, not me. I'm not getting involved. Let the Bajans rise up. Let the Bajans rise up. But the more I thought about it, and this is what pushes me, what gets me going, guys, to all of you who are watching. Do you know what gets me going? It's the fact that we live in a country without any formal opposition. And I always say to myself, if we all decide we're not going to get involved, what's going to happen to our beloved Barbados? What's going to happen to it? And that's why I would get involved. That's why I opened my computer and came on. Huh?
If you don't get them, what will happen? They will sell it to the Arabs for $10 million a year.
This is and I believe, I don't know what can happen for Wednesday, but I am saying that we need to send a clear signal on Wednesday. Something has to be sent on Wednesday, as some signaling needs to be sent on Wednesday. There are 504 of us on here on tonight. Well, with Caswell and myself, and I see Winston is back in the green room. There would be 508 persons logged on here tonight. And I believe when Wednesday comes, what is going to happen? We're going to fet up the whole time and forget about it. What's going to happen by Wednesday? Are they
I would tell you what I'd like to see.
Huh?
I can tell you what I would like to see. I would like to see Wednesday morning breaks that no government office open. I will open the hospital, of course, because you need to have that open. And nothing at hospital and clinics and stuff, but nothing else. But business can do that. If you see that happen, that will happen when my bonds are white.
Listen, Caswell, I am telling you, Miss McLean, I don't, they say only certain set of, a certain type of the enslaved people went to Jamaica, etc. But when you really begin to look at the history, there are Maroons here, There were Maroons in Barbados too. There are Maroons all about. That spirit is still here. The spirit of the Maroons is still here.
But those Maroons married those side people.
No, man, not my Bajan people. No, I don't believe that. I believe with information, something's gonna happen. It can't stay like this, Miss McLean.
Well, my position on this, Marcia, is that I certainly am using this forum to ask the Minister of Finance, the Prime Minister, same person, and her cabinet and parliamentary group to stop and explain properly to Barbadians what is happening. We can decide as well. Citizens can decide. I sitting from where I sit as a member of a political party and form administration, I would prefer not to suggest anything. Caswell is a trade unionist, and I think he's gone down a trade unionist road. But let me explain